Hey guys, how's it going? Hope you've been well. Tonight's video, or today, depending on when you might be watching this video, is going to be about my Angstat AR-9. This is a little AR pistol that is like the AR platform, but takes Glock magazines and shoots 9mm. So we're gonna get into that. I will get into some kind of channel announcements and things like that, hats, Patreon giveaways, all that stuff towards the end of the video. So if you're into that kind of stuff, stick around for the end. And we're just gonna get into, if I can round up some shooting clips, we'll throw them in now. So this is the Vertx Transit Sling. I think basically their smallest sling that they make. I'm a huge fan of Vertx bags. If you're new around here, I do have a coupon code over there, LLOD. Those 4 letters save you 25% off of everything actually at Vertx.com. But I'm showing this bag because it pairs well with how I have this Angstat set up. This bag is used for concealed carry. I have a cool announcement about that towards the end of the video. I'll give it, but for now, it also carries this little Angstat very, very well. So this is the Angstat folded up. It will fit into other bags obviously, but the Transit's one of the smaller bags out there that when folded, this fits right in. Now what you're looking at here is a pretty custom little AR 9mm pistol. Now this has a 6-inch barrel, though it is a little shorter than your standard 5.56 6-inch barrel, because the barrel does extend a little bit more into what you would think of as the 5.56 chamber. So it's closer to what might be like a 5 or 5.5 inch 5.56 barrel, I believe. But this takes Glock mags, and it's not picky either. You want to feed it a 33 rounder, it can do that. You want to feed it a Glock 26 10 rounder, it can do that, and everything in between. So I like the versatility of it because I myself am a Glock guy. This is my EDC gun, a Glock 19. I have a 17 mag as the backup, and if I'm carrying this, or if I have this on me for whatever reason, maybe it's a truck gun or something like that, then if this runs dry and I don't have another backup somewhere else, I've got 2 more backups for this on my body. It's not my first pistol caliber carbine, as these are called. It's basically like a rifle, more rifle type platform that shoots a pistol caliber, obviously. So your 9s, your 10s, your 45s. The first one I got that I've owned is this Vector. I've done a whole video on the Vector. If I remember, I'll link it up here. If I forget, comment down below and I'll link that up. This was my first foray into pistol caliber carbines. I wanted to get a gun that was a little more controllable, a fun gun, or a backpack gun, or a truck gun. I didn't know what the plan was for the gun yet. I just knew I wanted it, and I wanted a folder, and I wanted one that would use the same mags as my concealed carry gun. Luckily, I carry a Glock 19, and a lot of the pistol caliber carbines do pair well with those. I won't talk about the Vector much more. As I said, you can check out the whole video I did on it. But anyways, it was my intro to pistol caliber carbines, and it made me want something else. Because while this gun is really, really cool, one of the coolest guns in my collection, I'm not a huge fan of the controls. I run ARs, are my primary rifle or carbine, and I love, you just cannot beat the controls on an AR. So I said the Vector's cool, having a pistol caliber carbine is cool, sharing Glock mags is cool, but I still love my ARs, and that is what brought me to the Angstat. Angstat, they've been making them for a long time. They've dialed them in very well, and they're a reputable, great company. I've actually had a lot of conversations with the owner over there. Great guy, nothing but good things to say about them. They got some of these parts out to me because I wanted to build one and I wanted to work with some other companies. Weapon Works is who Cerakoted this. I saw this camo on a gun they did a long time ago and just thought it was sick. Let's get in close here so you can kind of see some of the details. It's like a distressed woodland camo, kind of reminiscent of something you'd see in some type of post-apocalyptic gun. You guys know I'm kind of into those video games and stuff, so for a fun gun like this, I just wanted it to look cool. Now, what we have here, I'm just gonna kind of go through the gun. What I have here is no muzzle device. That's kind of weird, huh? This is a 9mm. It doesn't benefit hugely from a muzzle device, and I wanted to keep the whole thing short. So when this thing was folded up, I wanted it to be very, very small. That was kind of the purpose of it. You can't go super short on a 5.56 AR because you start losing velocity once you start falling down to those short lengths. And a 5.56 AR at this length would just be a toy. It would be a joke. Yes, it would shoot a bullet. Yes, it could kill you. Yes, it will be accurate. I'm not debating that. I'm debating that a 5.56 gun of this barrel length, the terminal ballistics are not what they're supposed to be. The bolt's just not moving fast enough. You drop that down to a pistol caliber carbine. These are meant to be shot out of pistols primarily. And you have a very short package with a gun that is performing with the bullet, with the caliber that it is intended to, a barrel length that it's intended to be used at. So this is a 6-inch barrel length, so it's even kind of longer than most of the pistols you find out there. So the ballistics on it are great. If you want to put something like a 16-inch barrel, that really gets the 9mm up to even a higher speed and it'll do even more damage. But a 6-inch barrel, this little shorty right here, is for ballistics great for a 9mm. So my plans are to put a tri-lug on here with my Silencer can that is in jail right now and get that set up really nice for a really, really short can that I can just pop on and off really quick. I don't have the can yet, so I'm just rocking it completely flush like this. So it's basically flush with the handguard. So what I don't want to do is when I'm holding this, I don't want to extend my fingers past this and flag my fingers, and obviously I don't want to shoot my fingers off entirely. So I'm using a piece of a Magpul hand stop here basically. Sorry again, my good camera is in the shop, so I'm using my old camera which struggles with focus a little bit. Anyway, how I have it set up is I put this right in between my fingers here and grip it like this, and that ensures that if I have my normal grip, nothing is extending beyond the muzzle, so I'm not in any danger. And if I hand this over to somebody else, I just tell them to be extra safe and just grab it behind this entirely. So I like this little guy here because it really helps me get out in front of this to control it, or if you prefer this grip, you cannot put a vertical foregrip on this because it is a pistol, which we'll get into later, but you can put these little nubby guys on here. So that's what I went with here, and that's what's going on in the front. I don't have any backup irons on this guy, and I don't even have a weapon light on this guy because it's so short. I have experimented with some weapons, and I do have some that I can toss on here in a pinch, but nothing on there right now. Up here you will see I have a QD sling attachment point. There is also a QD sling point in the back of the Law Tactical folder, and there is also another one on the Gearhead Works pistol brace. So moving back even further, we have the Angstat handguard and the Angstat upper and lower and the bolt as well. This is no gas, so this is a blowback system, so there's no gas tube, it's not a DI system or anything like that, it's just blowback. The receiver set is 70-75 aluminum, so the higher grade, little stronger, little lighter aluminum. I think it's a little lighter anyways, it definitely is a little stronger. And then we have the Scalar Works mount up here with a Trijicon RMR. I just really love Scalar Works for all my mounts. I think the RMR is just makes sense on this very small, very light, and I really like them. If the gun is bigger overall, I'll still want to go with the Trijicon MRO. That's kind of my go-to optic. But for this little guy, the RMR just made sense. Super solid optic, really great mount on here. that does have just thumb tightening, so it's quick detach. You've probably seen, I run Scalar Works on pretty much all my guns. Love their mounts. So this setup is bomb proof. I mean, it probably wouldn't survive a literal bomb for those of you that hate that expression, but it is rugged enough that I trust it without needing to run backup iron sights. Could I toss some backups on here? I certainly could, but I'm keeping this small, minimal as possible. I do have the Radian Raptor charging handle on here as well. I have a Timney trigger, drop-in trigger, so these do accept standard AR components in a lot of places, not all of them, but standard charging handle. Most triggers will work. There are a few of them that have a little bit of issues with these drop-in ones, but this Timney has been working just fine. I could put like an ambi safety or whatever on here if I wanted, but I just have kind of the standard mil-spec one for now. And then I have the Magpul MOE K2, I believe, grip here, the more vertical one, with some storage underneath. The lower does have an easy to reach mag release here. It does have a last round bolt hold open, and it does have a nice flared mag well down here. And then you can see an oversized trigger guard area as well, which is really nice. So a really sleek, angular receiver set that I just think is beautiful. So when I saw these things a long time ago, I kind of thought they looked funky, right? You have this weird angle, not your typical AR mag that's coming out this way. And that's because, you know, it's designed to take a Glock mag. So if you see the feed ramp, obviously will need to be in line with the magazine to some extent. So that is why we have the angle back here like this. I still don't think it looks as good as a traditional AR with a full-size mag, but I do think it looks pretty good. Sorry if I didn't say beforehand, these guns have all been cleared for those of you that care. Now moving back, it gets a little interesting. They do sell this as a complete kit, or you can get parts or whatever. So if you're kind of new to it, I'd probably recommend just buying the entire kit from them direct, because they'll have that all dialed in for you already. But I went the custom route, as you can see. And so from here up is mostly how you'll get it from the factory, from Angstat Direct, if you get a whole receiver set, minus the trigger and a couple little things. But moving back is where I really kind of customized it a little bit more. So here, for those of you that aren't familiar with this, this is a Law Tactical folder. This is the latest gen, which I don't even remember what it is. I'll try not to flag myself. But what this allows you to do is fold your AR and obviously get a much smaller length out of this. It does obviously increase the width a bit. So for those that don't know, you can still fire this one round. If you have a round chambered and it's folded, you can fire it. It will not eject the round. It will not chamber the next round. So it's kind of a one-shot gun. You can then flip it open, clear that round out, eject that round, let it go, it will chamber the next round, and from then on will function like your normal AR, but you cannot shoot multiple rounds like this because of how the AR buffer system works. But you can shoot the one round. It does have a little detent, so it kind of keeps this folded, but not super securely. If you kind of have a little bit of movement, it'll come off. But this does just, you can just kind of fling it back like this, and then it's good to go. Locks in place nice. Once it is in this locked position, it does stick out a little bit here, but it is super, super stable. Then attached to that, this will basically accept whatever your normal buffer tubes. I went with this one. This is a Battle Arms Development Saber Tube. This Saber Tube was designed specifically for the Gearhead Works brace. So these are two separate things, but you can buy them together from Battle Arms Development. I just liked the look of it. I knew I was going to paint this custom, and it just kind of, I don't know, felt a little post-apocalyptic-y as well. But you can put any buffer tube pistol brace you want back here. Angstat does sell them direct with their new SBA 3s, which I really, really like those pistol braces as well. But I wanted to go with this setup for the looks and for the functionality. So this is a Gearhead Works pistol brace. This is kind of a unique looking one, a really cool looking one as well, but the functionality of it as a brace is top notch. It is the best brace if you are intending to use it like a brace. So this thing will open right here and come down and essentially form this shelf. This helps support it underneath, which makes shooting it like this very easy. Don't worry, gun's been cleared, camera's on a tripod. But as far as a pistol brace is concerned, this is the best one if you want to actually use it as a brace. Definitely not telling you to shoulder it, but if it happens to accidentally come in contact with your shoulder, it works very well for that. There's a slight angle to it, which makes it nice to accidentally shoulder once in a while. And that basically wraps up this kind of detailed walkthrough of how I have this thing set up. I didn't have a ton of shooting footage just because I shot this thing a lot in the past. As some of you guys know, there's been a burn ban in Colorado, which kind of has made discharging firearms, surprisingly, in a severe burn ban in Colorado, illegal. So I have taken kind of a sabbatical from shooting for a while because I hate going to indoor ranges. I hate going to ranges in general. I love shooting on public land. So I just haven't been shooting much. And the couple times I have gone out shooting, I really have just continued to hone my skills with my EDC carry gun, because I'm one of those guys that believes in being proficient with their carry gun more than shooting a bunch of random guns. But at the same time, I'm kind of a custom gun builder. I like custom builds. I like flashy stuff. I have a lot of great relationships with a lot of cool companies. So I have these opportunities to build these really sick guns with these really great collaborations with different companies. And this is one of them that I've shown in videos from time to time, and I've been blowing up. Fancy comment, poppy thing, blub, 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 blub. All these comments asking me to do a review of this gun. So here it is. All right, so you may be saying, Mike, why put a weak pistol caliber into a platform that's designed to shoot a much more powerful, actual true rifle round? I get that sentiment. I touched on it a little bit earlier, and that comes down to barrel length, which obviously correlates to overall length, which with a folder, obviously you can't get a 5.56. It springs into action like this fast, this small. So that's one reason. Overall size, this is awesome. This is amazing. Secondarily, I think it makes a pretty cool truck gun, bug out gun, get home bag gun, something like that if you're into that kind of thing. If you also carry a Glock pistol as your EDC gun, because again, as I touched on earlier, we have compatibility with your mags and your caliber. So if I carry a Glock 19 or a Glock 17 or a Glock 26, I now have the ability to use those mags directly right into this gun. And another question you might be asking is, well, if you're just shooting 9mm, why don't you just shoot a pistol? Why all this? And that's another valid question, and it makes sense, and I also get that sentiment. And the reason is because mostly accuracy and controllability. You get something like this and you do a theoretical shouldering of the AR. I don't know what the ATF's position is going to be at the time that you're watching this video, so I don't want to say you can shoulder it, and I don't want to say you can't shoulder it, but let's say you're going to shoulder it. You have all of these points of contact. You have your hand out here, you have this into your cheek, into your shoulder. All this stuff going on makes a very stable platform, which makes for very good control. You can pling targets at 100 yards like this, just no problem. Yes, I could shoot my Glock 19 at 100 yards. I've hit targets at 300 yards with that, but this is easy. It's with a red dot. No work at all. Shooting a pistol at those distances is harder. Also, follow-up shots, controllability, maneuverability, the ability to mount lights and control this very well, the ability to run 33 round mags very easily with it still feeling very, very natural. So there are definitely some benefits. You have a 6-inch barrel, which will create more velocity for the bullet if it's compared to, like, you know, maybe you're carrying a subcompact, a Glock 26. Out of that 3.5 inch, I forget how long the barrel is on a Glock 26. it's not pushing out as much velocity, so you do get a little bit of velocity gain on this. If you went with an even longer barrel, you'd get even more velocity gain on it as well. So while some people view these as just fun guns, which they certainly are, or range toys, or even maybe a queen safe, they could be all those things, but also they do have a place, in my mind, in the real world as well. Something like the MP5 has been in service a lot for a long time, used by a lot of people. It's kind of going out of style now, but it's a pistol caliber carbine essentially, but this one-ups it by having the beautiful, gorgeous, amazing AR controls, as well as your Glock mag interchangeability. So that's that. Hopefully it gave you a fun little look at the Yangstat, and also a little bit of kind of what went on in my mind when I decided to build this little guy. All right, I think I talked more than I planned to, which is kind of no surprise in this channel. So that's it for the Yangstat. Now we're gonna kind of get into some announcements and stuff. We do have that monthly giveaway on Patreon if you want to check that out, patreon.com/LLOD. I'll put links down below. I can't link to firearms companies because of YouTube current policies, but I will put a link down below that you can get to some other stuff with, and I always put coupon codes and all that stuff down below, which gets us into an announcement with all things Glock related. You guys have been asking for it. I've made a Velcro holster for my Glocks a long time ago. Recently, I've been toying with making more of them for mass market. For those that don't know, I run a holster company, LLOD.US, if you want more info. But here is the finalized prototype that will be going into production soon, next month sometime. This is a Velcro-backed holster that will hold your Glocks. You got a Glock 26, it'll hold that. You got a big, bad, awesome Glock 34, it'll hold that. What about maybe a Gen 5, you're wondering? Will it fit a Gen 5? Sure will. So that's coming. It's a design I made for myself like probably 3 years back now. Pretty simple design, though it did require some custom tooling and molds. But this is it for those of you that want to steal my holster ideas, because I know there are those out there that have been doing it. This is it. Simple. It is the most streamlined, most structured Velcro-backed holster you can get. What I have here is a completely flat piece, which you can put adhesive-backed Velcro on, which will mean that it interfaces with your Velcro panels and stuff like that better than anything else there on the market, while being the thinnest profile holster you can get, period. So this is the perfect solution for your Velcro bag carrying needs, woes. People have been asking me about them for literally years, since I did a gym backpack video where I made one of these for myself 2 or 3 years ago. You can look for it way back in my history. Made one for myself. I've gotten hundreds of emails since asking me to make them. Haven't had time. Finally decided I'll start making them. So you will see these pop up from other companies now, because that's how the holster market works. Other holster makers copy other holster makers, and it happens. But I'll be the first with this dedicated holster as far as I know. So those of you that have been waiting for that, I'm going to be launching it with the Glocks, probably in limited release colors out the gate. Get some feedback from you guys, see how it works out. And then, sorry, I keep on looking over here because this camera focus sucks so bad. I want to make sure it's in focus. So then after the launch of Glock with no light, I'll probably do polls on Patreon and stuff and figure out what to next offer with lights or different gun models or whatever. And if it becomes a popular enough thing, then I'll expand the lineup to have more and more and more, but out the gate, Glock. So if you've been waiting for this, you do not have to wait much longer. That'll be on the site. I think that's it. That's all I have. That's all I have the energy to talk about today. Thanks for sticking around. As always, guys, hit that thumbs up button. Really, take 2 seconds, hit that thumbs up button. comment down below, share this video, get subscribed obviously if you aren't, hit that notification icon. It all helps a ton. I've been busy with the launch of LLOD.us and my holster company and some merch. Speaking of, I have some cool stuff. I have some new patches, actually, some really small patches. I wanted to get some patches that worked on these really small. So this is tiny, these little tiny patches. So I got those, koozies, a bunch of new hat styles. They're all coming out soon. Sorry, it's hot in here. I don't think I'm sweating. I don't really sweat much, but anyway, just been crazy busy getting that off the ground. I had a huge influx of orders right when I launched, but it's kind of stabilized, so things are gonna be good. I'm gonna start having time again for my life, and summer's been busy. I've just been going on trips and working on my truck, and I'm going on training events. Oh, that's another exciting thing I wanna talk about. Sorry, rambling. But for those of you that are still here, you kind of probably are interested in that kind of stuff. So we have coming up, I have a Travis Haley strategic course coming up in December that I'm taking. And then I have more soon, a direct action resource center. So these guys are cool guys. They train special operations forces all the time. Civilians can't take courses over there that often. Sometimes they are open, but I got invited to take this special course. The sweetest course I've ever heard about. It will be miserable and awesome at the same time. It's called Urban Sustainment course or something. It's basically the scenario was kind of like a SHTF grid down urban combat scenario. It's going to be force on force simunitions. I'm going to have to harvest my own water and sleep on the ground for 4 nights and no electricity and disconnected from the world. I don't really know. I think we're like in teams maybe, and we can kind of get attacked at any time. So there will be training, there will be scenarios, and I'm going to be documenting all of that, testing out some new gear. So super excited about that. That's coming up. Anyways, that's all just to say I've been super busy, but I will continue making videos and some sweet videos coming up. Which brings me to the very last thing I'm going to be asking you guys is, I'm going to continue making videos on whatever I want to make videos on because it's my channel and that's the nature of YouTube, and I have no obligations to any companies because I do not take money to make videos. I don't take payment. I haven't taken payment for any videos. I do make money off of affiliate links and ad revenue and all that stuff, but I haven't taken any money from a company yet, which frees me up to do videos on whatever I want to do, which is cool. But at the same time, you guys are my subscribers. Those of you that are subscribed, if you're not, get subscribed, and then you'll be my subscribers, and then I'll be talking to you. But for those of you that are my subscribers, I still want to cater videos to you guys, especially some of you OGs out there that have been around since the very beginning. So I don't want to abandon you. So if you guys really want gun content, let me know. If you really want reviews on pants, let me know. Flashlights, let me know. I know I've been doing a lot of truck stuff because I really am into it right now, and it kind of, a lot of it carries over, and you know YouTube's been kind of on guns, but I'll still continue doing guns. I'm going to stay true to my roots, but I do want to hear what you guys want to see videos on because that's important to me still. Coming up, more gun stuff, bug out bag stuff, and bug out truck stuff, all to come. All right, guys, that's it for me. Take care.